All right, we now move to the ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, getting probably more attention than they want to over things that are not directly on the field of competition. They got some internal issues they're currently working through with two of their prominent media figures in Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor. The New York Times had a story leak a few days ago about comments Rachel Nichols made in the NBA bubble last year in regards to ESPN and their push for more diversity, more inclusion, all these wonderful things, which it would seem that Rachel Nichols is a proponent of. But she also, let's see, here we have the comments. So I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football, covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you are feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, talking about ESPN, which by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You are not going to find it from me or taking my thing away. And so we have this uproar now. We also have Nichols was the NBA Finals sideline reporter. She was replaced on that duty last night by Malika Andrews. As far as I know, she's still hosting her show, The Jump, which airs at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, I believe. But that's kind of where we are. Drink. What do you make of all this?
I, I want you to do something for me. Hey, when you go to work tomorrow, hey, can you get in touch with the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps and tell him, hey, you can miss me with all that diversity stuff. I ain't got time for that. Don't bring it over here. You know what I'm saying? I wish that guy the best, but don't bring that crap over here. I'ma holler at you. You know what I'm saying? And just tell me how that work out for you. Tell me if he likes it, if he cooperates. Move a couple of things around just for you, just for your
Yeah.
personal,
Right.
recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I don't know what the hell Rachel Nixon. I know she make a pretty good living. I don't know what she's out here smoking or using, but here's the deal. You can't go to your boss, essentially ESPN, telling them what you will and won't do. Listen, I know you're pretty powerful, but and maybe it is some things she can do that. I would think one Stephen A. Smith walks around and say what he will and won't do from time to time, being that he pretty much the face of ESPN. But for Rachel Nicholson to do this, well, Nichols, I'm sorry, for her to do this to Maria Taylor, I mean, I would look at them as peers. I would look at them as I never once look at Rachel Nichols and then say, dang man, she ain't as good as Maria Taylor. I'm gonna be honest, I've never compared the two. I didn't even know it was like a thing that they was coming for each other jobs or they was fighting for a certain pecking order. Because here's the deal, when it comes to basketball, the woman that really matters is Doris Burke. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, y'all can see him. I got it that Maria Taylor does her host thing in the booth, but when it comes to a voice that we want to hear for real, it's probably Doris Burke. That's why she done it all in that booth. She didn't broadcast. She been on the sidelines. She done it all. And that's who we want to hear. Now, Maria Taylor has cut out a nice niche for her in college football, but I think she worked hard for that. As far as Rachel go, here's the deal. For anyone that's listening to this or watching this that listen to the Kwame Brown, I think his podcast is like the life of an NBA bust or a life of a bust, something like that. On his podcast, if you was listening to him probably like a month ago, maybe a little earlier than that, he talked about Rachel Nichols. He talked about how she has the propensity to take something small, like a small childhood story or something, and make it out to be bigger and try to make you look bad for her gain, her publicity. He says that. His words, not mine. Go back, find it. That's what he said. At the time he said it, I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe he's scoring or whatnot. Fast forward to now, I'm looking at stuff like this, and it's like, I mean, maybe he wasn't lying. Maybe it was something else. I had to ask myself, like, what happened? What really was going on, or what was Rachel really thinking about to make her say that? What made her go at the boss man like that, the management, and say, "Not over here. You ain't doing that." Maybe she felt like her job was threatened anyway, and then with everything the country was going through at the time, because this interview is old. Everything that the country was going through at the time, she just felt like she felt very threatened and she felt like her territory was going to get moved on. Now, the ironic thing is this: you said all that, right? You ain't doing it over here. You ain't going to take my place. And then what ESPN did? Oh yeah, hey, hold my broadcasting spot, and they went on and took care of that. All right. And not only did you didn't get replaced by Maria Taylor because she off doing bigger and better things. What her name? Malika Andrews. How you love that? How you love that? That's who you got replaced by, the other black girl. So I mean, if you really got a problem with that, ESPN just showed you what it is out here on these streets.
Here's some more of it.
So ESPN showed you was really good out here on these streets, but at the end of the day, I don't know what this whole thing about, because I don't want to call her racist. She did some racist type of activity, I guess, race related activity. I don't know if she's racist. I just know I have two articles that I can attach to her name that doesn't look pleasant as far as comments she done made or as far as how she does her day-to-day job. So I don't know what that's about. But I tell you what, this whole invasion of privacy thing that's going on in America right now, like, we really got to be cognizant of who you talking to and what you talking to them about now. This is ridiculous. I done seen so many comments get leaked, and I'm assuming she had no idea that her comments was getting recorded. But at the end of the day, man, it's no more privacy in this country. This is what I'm starting to realize. That privacy is gone out the door. You really have to watch and really pay attention to how you conduct yourself. But I would say this. I think the penalty for Rachel Nichols is warranted. Hey, you got to get replaced. You don't come here telling us what we're going to do. You don't be insensitive to what we got going on. You are an employee. You don't run this show. We run this show. And if we tell you you're going to do this, that's what it is. You don't like it, like you said, you can get replaced. And that's exactly what happened. So I do think the punishment was warranted because it shouldn't have been said. If you don't like it, you shouldn't have said it. And who they replace it with is who they replace it with. But I guarantee you this. When she comes back, if she comes back, you will see a different approach to how things go. Listen, Charles Barkley said it. Charles Barkley said it. It wasn't this direct parallel, but he said it. People come to you and tell you to watch what you say for a reason. It's a different day and age. Can't say what you want to, especially if you out here hating. And it definitely sounded like she was hating. So if you do it like that, that's what's going to happen. I think the punishment will warrant it. But I don't think this is the last time we'll see Rachel Nichols. I think she's a good enough talent to where we'll see her pop back up again. But I think everything that happened is warranted.
Let's not leave out the fact that that's the type of culture we're now creating for ourselves. That's why part of the reason Charles Barkley is leaving TNT in a couple of years. At least that's what he said in that interview. But I think I'm looking at the content of what Rachel Nichols said, and maybe I'm missing something. But I think I don't find anything necessarily racist in it. I think the overarching point, which is it's easy to get lost in this hypersensitive society where we increasingly focus on race, which is dangerous. But the problem it seems like she has is, we seem to be moving away from a society where we advance based on merit and who is the best fit for the job, to a society where now we have to meet certain diversity quotas just for the sake of diversity. I got somewhat of a problem with that. I don't necessarily want to live in a society where, just based on how I look and how I belong to the quote unquote privilege or majority and all that I should be necessarily passed over for something just so a corporation can check the diversity box. I think that's something that I'm not really going to be for. Now, of course, the issue here is Rachel Nichols, as far as I can tell, she's been the biggest telling us all that we got to be inclusive, we got to be diverse, we got to be, all these different things. And then, of course, the minute, you're looked to and you have to step aside for, whatever reason, because the company wants to go a different route. Now you don't feel so good about it, huh? Which is pretty interesting. This is totally unrelated, has nothing to do with this. But I think of Steve Nash all the time lately because of this. Because Steve Nash got the job, and we were just, I know at least me, I was kind of scratching my head, talking about, well, wait a minute, this is kind of odd. I didn't see this coming. And Steve Nash, about like 3 minutes, he ain't even had time to get his tie ready for the press conference, and he's already telling us about, what, well, I want to do more for you know diversity in the coaching ranks and getting more uh, black head coaches hired. Well, you just, they ain't but 30 jobs, Steve, and you just took one of them. So you can't tell me that, hey, I'm all about getting them hired, and but now I have the job, and it just, you can't tell me you're pro diversity and then you just took the job. Get out the way, and if you really want diversity, let somebody else have the job. But you wanted that job. So to me, I don't think this is necessarily uncommon, and that people necessarily, when it comes to something they want and their well-being, their livelihood, and their position at a given company, they feel a little bit differently about these things, because now they have to step aside for something that maybe they not 100% completely sold on. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily right for us to choose someone for a job based on how they look. And I'm not saying that's what ESPN is doing, but that seems to be what Rachel Nichols thinks ESPN is doing. And of course, you had, the day after that the audio was leaked, you had her come out and she had gave this big apology, and then the day after she don't have a sideline job. And I think there's real questions moving forward about whether she'll be at the network. I'm just pulling up something from the USA Today.
So,
You know,
Jay, I got a question for you. So,
mm-hmm.
what exactly did she apologize for then?
I'm guessing, I didn't view the apology, but I'm guessing what it amounted to was sorry for coming at the company, and indirectly coming at Maria Taylor, and just I don't there's the reason this is a story, as you say, is because there's no such thing as privacy. Anything subject to be recorded. That's why you got to be pretty careful about what you say. And judging by where she was, she probably should have known that they had the recording. I don't know. Maybe she didn't know, but that's why this is a story. If there's no recording device, this is a non-story. And she's I would get, I don't know for a fact, but I'm guessing she's only sorry because this is public. You know as well as I do. Things that we say in private, we necessarily wouldn't come out and spout all over the national airwaves.
Right.
And now this is a bigger deal, and it's only getting worse. Yeah, ESPN, you got management, they got to be up in arms. You got the National Association of Black Journalists, they're all involved in this now. So because of that, and because of the, like I said, the hypersensitive society we have, where we, anything race related, it's going to be a huge deal. I'm not sure. I know originally she was going to remain in place at the jump, keep doing that, but you see how it works, and this happens across society. One thing happens that the quote unquote woke mob doesn't like, or whatever you're saying. People apologize for it, and oftentimes that doesn't do a bit of good. You're going to be out of here. So I don't think we've seen the last of it. It appears that the National Association of Black Journalists, they want a meeting with Disney and all that. I got, if this continues, just based on what I'm reading right now, if this continues the way it goes, she's going to be out of here. And it's unfortunate because, much like anything else, I don't think one thing that someone says should define someone's career or their character. But unfortunately, that's kind of where we're at in society.